Yesterday, reports came out that Patrick Peterson is not going back to the Cardinals after 10 years. This came from Matt Verderame. He works for Fansided, so that's where it came from. But Peterson, a Pro Bowler in his first 8 NFL seasons. He's made 3 All-Pro first teams all decade for the 2010s. But in the last 2 years, he has fallen off. There's no doubt about it. Now, he'll start 16 games for you, or at least he has, except for 2019 when he got suspended the first 6 games for PEDs. But he posted his worst coverage grade since his rookie year and led the league in penalties with 12 last season. So, Patrick Peterson, option number 1. And now hear me out for the Cowboys pitch, okay? Right now, in this secondary, it's the hope of Trayvon Diggs and nothing else. Nothing else. Give me anything else in the Cowboys secondary, particularly the corners, that has you excited. And while I don't know if I'm starting Patrick Peterson as my 1 or my 2, I do believe sometimes in getting a veteran presence in there, a guy that can show people the way and guide them along. I do think that is valuable sometimes in sports. And would Patrick Peterson be the first or second best cornerback on this team? Candidate number 2 is Richard Sherman, who John Gruden tampered with last week in that Chris Collinsworth podcast. Richard Sherman told Stephen A. Smith that he only wants to play 2 more seasons. Quote, I want to get on a competitive team. I think I still have a lot to give to the game. I have a lot that I want to accomplish, and I can go out there and help a defense come together and reach their full potential. He does not expect to return to San Francisco. Again, there's a Raiders tie-in because there's 2 tie-ins out there. Gus Bradley was Sherman's defensive coordinator in 2011 and 2012. Gus Bradley is supposed to be putting in that same scheme with Chucky and the Raiders. Who was another defensive assistant coach out there that Richard Sherman played for?
Somebody named Dan Quinn, I believe.
That would be Dan Quinn, RJ Choppy. So we have Dan Quinn here running the Cowboys defense. Could I talk you in because of the veteran presence, because of nothing but youth here, because maybe they'd be the first or second corner on this team with this roster, into Richard Sherman or Patrick Peterson, Tolos, and RJ?
I would definitely say no to Patrick Peterson.
Which sounds crazy because Patrick Peterson, I think Patrick Peterson will be thought of as the better player. Both I think, are going to the Hall of Fame. But Patrick Peterson, and he's 30 years old as well, Patrick Peterson was thought of as he got more respect from players than Richard Sherman did in the league. Patrick Peterson was going to travel with you. It was going to be star coverage nonstop. He was going to go wherever the best player went. He was what Jalen Ramsey is doing right now. And Richard Sherman was always dogged by some players as a zone corner. He's just going to go ahead and play one side. What makes your selection of Sherman over Peterson even more intriguing is Peterson's younger. Sherman is 32. He'll be 33. Richard Sherman will be 33 next month, but you're still saying no to Patrick Peterson first. Why?
Well, age is a thing for both of these guys. Cost will be a thing. Pro Football Focus projects that Patrick Peterson would get 2 for $25. Not paying $13.5 million or $12.5 million. Peterson's Pro Football Focus grade was a 55. Cheetos was a 51.
Ugh.
Okay, I'm not going to do that.
Sherman, bad year. He was off. He had a bad year. He was off last year.
Yeah, he was off. Sherman had a 68. And, he is accustomed to this secondary type defense that they are going to run here. So I think he'd be a decent fit with the Raiders or here. Now, there is somebody, people bringing this up on the fan text, and this is something that you can't plan for, but some of these really, really good corners pull a Charles Woodson and have secondary careers as safeties.
Yes.
And now, I don't know if that's something that they want to do, that they are capable of doing, those players, or that this team would want to do. That might be an option. I don't know how good of an option it is. I don't know that there's a long history of guys transitioning from corner to safety at the end of their careers and having, really good second halves like Charles Woodson had. He could be the outlier. But that would be some kind of an option. I'd probably lean towards young. I'd probably lean towards youth. But if I was going to have to pick between one of those two guys, I'd probably take Sherman.
Pro Football Focus ranked the best available corners coming up. Richard Sherman was 2. Patrick Peterson was 13. He was 13th on the list. But I would be interested in getting one of them in here just to fill out the room, and fill out the room with a guy who has been a stud. Because, again, name me the 3 starting corners next year for the Cowboys.
Well, again, is it Peterson? Is it just because of his name? He was not very good last year. I'm not assuming he's going to get better. I'm assuming he's going to get worse.
The other thing I would like to know about Patrick Peterson, I can't speak to Arizona's scheme or what they did. Did he still travel with the 1 every game last year? Because let's put him in some positions to help him out. Let's protect him. Let's keep him on the 2. Let's keep him on one side of the field. Let's not have him travel with DK Metcalf. Let's not have him travel with, Julio Jones. Let's put him on the second receiver. Let's put him on the third receiver. Let's do some things where he doesn't have to be Dion out there like he's had to be for Arizona over the years. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there because their names were in the news yesterday. Richard Sherman says, I only want to play 2 more years. Familiarity here with Dan Quinn. And Patrick Peterson is supposed to be leaving Arizona after a decade. Let the Tolos decide.